Pretty darn exciting, don't you think? Of course, the hard part is when you got the guy that makes all this money and does the trainings. He's not yet in the 21st century, and he's trying. So I'm going to explain to you and share to you that having the app is great. Having a tool is great. But I've been around for 26 plus years in this industry. There's not ever going to be a tool that does everything for you. All it is a little bit of a belief level building tool, because everything sets them to the next thing. But I really want you to think about this and how we can use the tool very, very effectively. Is there anybody in this room that would have enjoyed sponsoring me? Yeah. I want to share with you how I got started in network marketing, and just to see how things evolved. A guy I knew that was in the jewelry business, like myself, came into my store one day, and he complimented me. And he told me what a great job I was doing in the jewelry business. And then he said to me that he got started in another business, and that he was getting out of the jewelry business to do this other business on a full-time basis. I said, what is it? And he said, this is how old it was 1990. He said, do you have a cassette player in your automobile? Actually, he said car, because we're from Boston. Do you have a cassette player in your car? I said, yeah, I have a cassette player. He says, good, I want you to listen to this cassette on the ride home. Now, you have a VHS? I said, yes, I have a VHS, I just don't know how to use it, but I have kids. He said, well, I want you to watch this video. And then he called me back the next day and invited me to go to an opportunity meeting. And then I signed into the business. Isn't that still what we're doing today, really? It's the same 3-step system. All that is evolving are the tools. And the tools are going to make the duplication process easy. Because it's all about the cycle of duplication. You need to have a system. And the challenge in network marketing is, if it's all about duplication, is there anybody in this room that can duplicate me? Is there anybody that can duplicate Lisa T? Is there anybody that can duplicate John Krim? No, the answer is no. Nobody can duplicate themselves. The system can be duplicated. And I know how important systems are because I am a basketball fan, and in the year 2008, which was an Olympic year, the Boston Celtics won the championship in the National Basketball Association. So what that said to me was, wow, we really had a great team. Now get this. 6 weeks later is the Olympic Games. Well, what are we doing in the Olympic Games? We take the 12 best basketball players from the United States of America to represent our country of the United States. Guess how many Boston Celtics were on that team? 0. So you know what that said to me? The Celtics did not have the best players. They didn't need the best players because they had the best team based on the system. And right now, XFuse has that system. And so I'm going to take, we've got people in the room, Wes, Christina, they understand this technology so well. I mean, we got people formulating questions I wouldn't even dream of. But then you do have people that are not in their 20s anymore. People like myself, people like my chicken list, okay? And we need to understand how to implement the tools. So real quickly, nothing has changed. You see, I believe, and we talked on this earlier, that this business is built on relationships. Every time I do an opportunity meeting, I was at Janice's house, and I did an opportunity meeting, a business briefing, and I told them, not one of you is here because of me. You're not here because of products. You're not here about an opportunity. You are here because you've developed a relationship with Janice. And that starts it right away. And that's the key. It's all about building relationships. If you're thinking that, hey, all I want to do is mass text, 500 people names in my phone all at once, if you think you're going to get any results from that, my guess is you're not. You see, years ago, my first network marketing company was a company called Nu Skin, great company out in Provo, Utah. And when I left that company to go to my second company, I went to a company called Rexall out in Boca Raton, Florida. I had brought in a guy from New Hampshire. This is the guy that did every one of the Nu Skin meetings in New Hampshire. He was an emerald, which is almost a diamond in the company. Everybody knew him. On top of that, on the sign-in sheets for 5 years, he had everybody's phone number. He asked me, will I go to New Hampshire and do a meeting for him? He's going to have 100 people in the room. He said he'll probably have 200 people in the room, but he's only going to set up 100 chairs with 100 in the back. I said, great. I said, how are you going to do this? He says, I'm going to fax everybody that I've left that company to go to the next company. And I said, okay. I did have a fax machine, by the way. And I was actually the last person in the United States to actually own a fax machine. So he faxes out these couple hundred, 400 people, whatever. Guess how many people showed up at his meeting? Well, it was him, and there was me. Wow. Because why? How many times you get emails from your friends asking you to look at the business of a lifetime? How many times do you really open them and look at them? If they don't think enough of me to give me that call, to make it personal, why in heaven's name am I going to jump on their opportunity? I still believe in my heart and soul that it begins with a phone call. Number one, real simple, you start out, you make your list. We always used to talk about a couple of hundred names. Eventually, you want more than a couple of hundred. And by the way, it's a lot easier to construct a list today. How many friends do you have on Facebook? How many names do you have on your cell phone? But what you need to do it a little old school, just try it. Take the name off of your phone and then write the phone number next to it so you can keep track of who you've called, etc., and so on. And what you really need to do is contact these people. And when you contact them, you should have a goal. Now, by the way, just to let you know, okay, every day you should recruit. And maybe you put aside 1 hour a day to recruit, okay? Whatever the number is. And when you do recruit somebody, you should be in a room all alone. No kids, no pets. I love kids, I love pets. I have them both. But the bottom line is, you need that hour by yourself. Now, when you prospect somebody, there's always going to be something in your voice. I've sponsored a few of you in this room. And I've done three-way calls for many of you in this room that brought you into business. I've never once, when I called Jan, I didn't start by, hello, this is me. Nobody wants to be signed up by Eeyore, okay? I mean, you've got to sound happy, okay? And there actually is a little trick that I have found over the years. Do you realize if you put a big smile on your face, you can't sound sad? Check this out. I was up till 2:30 in the morning last night. I had 3 hours sleep, and my head has been pounded. I lost my voice, and I don't feel that good. See? I didn't sound unhappy, did I? When you make the initial phone call, you have a goal. The goal is not to sponsor them into XFuse. It's to create the connection. It's to continue developing your relationship. And if I were calling Wes, and my ultimate goal is to get him to step one. What is step one? Today, it's a 48-second sizzle video, followed by 3 other 2- and 3-minute videos. That's your goal. The goal, because remember, the duplication process of your distributor begins the second you call them. And if you are somebody that is blessed with a gift of communication skills, that you can make the greatest business presentation in the world, that they can't wait to get their credit card out and give you $1,000 to start a business, what do you think they're going to try to do? They're going to attempt to make the same presentation as you. So I show this business to Wes, and Wes loves it, spends $1,000 to get started. Now, he just so happens he's got great communication skills. He goes to Marnie, and he makes a great presentation. She's so excited, she can't wait to get her credit card out. And what is she going to do? Well, she goes to Iris. But maybe Marnie is a little uncomfortable making a presentation. And she goes to Iris, and Iris says, that's an illegal pyramid scheme. I'm not interested. All right, well, in that case, I'm going to call Maureen next. And now she makes a presentation to Maureen, but it's not really that good yet. And Maureen says, I'm not interested. And then she goes to Miguel and Nellie. 4 or 5 people say no, and then what happens? She quits. She said, I can't do this. Network marketing doesn't work. What instead, if you had a system of duplication? Now, when I call Wes, I'm not going right for the jugular. Hey, you want to make some money? That doesn't work. Wes, how you doing? I haven't spoken to you in a while. How are things going? How's your family? How's your children? How's business? I promise you, in that little area right there, you are going to find a way to segue into why you're calling him. Because Wes might say, well, business is pretty good. I just don't have time to spend with my kids anymore because I'm working so much. Or I'm working twice as hard for half the money. You will find a way. Well, you know what, Wes? That's interesting. Kind of one of the reasons I thought of you today. Now comes a sincere compliment. If you do not have something nice to say about somebody, why bother even attempting to enroll them? You know what I love about this business? I only work with you guys. I only work with positive people. I work with people that I like. I'm not going to bother even work. If I'm standing in line in the airport and the plane's late, it happens sometimes, and there's 17 people like this, and one person like this, guess who I'm going to go for? I don't want to deal with negativity. I'm going to get all the negatives out of my life. I want to deal with positive people. So I call Wes. You know, Wes, let me tell you one of the reasons I called you. You're one of the sharpest people I know, one of the nicest guys I know. People love you. I've always wondered if we could do something together. Something just happened recently. A business that got started out in Southeast Asia just got here to Texas. We're like the first people that know about it. Might you be interested? That's a pretty good approach. I could go on and on with different approaches. We don't have time for that today. They'll be on the app. I promise you. I've already done 9 trainings for that app. They'll be all loaded up within a month or less, okay? One of the, and so Wes is going to say, after you've prospected him, he's going to say, what is it? This is where it's going to take your skills to keep your mouth shut. Because if you start going on and on about the wonders of Ganoderma mushroom extract, Yamabushitake mushrooms, you know what he's going to say? What I used to hear all the time, oh, Eddie, you're going to do great at this. Me, I can't do this. I can't sell. I can't do anything like that, okay? So again, Wes, Eddie, how are you doing? How's your family? How are the kids? How's business? He tells me, I said, it's one of the reasons I'm calling you. You're one of the nicest people I know. You have a heart of gold. People love you. I always want to do something with you. Might you be, there's a company that started Southeast Asia, just got here to Texas, we're the first ones. Might you be interested? And Wes says, what is it? And I say, well, you obviously have a smartphone, am I correct? Yeah. All right, I've got a video. It literally runs 48 seconds. And then I've got 3 more videos that total 10 minutes tops. One's 4 minutes, one's 3 minutes, one's 2.5 minutes. If I was to text you them right now, which is Saturday, might you have a chance to look at them today? And if you did, would it be all right if I called you back later tonight, or is tomorrow better? Now, if he says, well, I don't know, why don't you tell me, Eddie? Why don't you tell me what it is? Wes, this is too important. You need to hear the same set of information that I heard that got me excited. So would it be okay if I texted you? If you get caught up in attempting now, if you let him control that conversation and you start explaining the wonders of acai, you're going to lose them. You're going to lose them. I want the tools to do the work. We at XFuse were a house with unbelievable bricks and everything to make the house. We just didn't have the tools. Let's use the tools. Okay, and the tools right now are the videos, which we're going to keep updating and making better. Okay, so now, is it all right if I call you later today, or is tomorrow better? Wes says, why don't you call me Monday? Great. What's better for you, the morning or the evening? He says, morning. I said, great, what's better for you, 4 o'clock in the morning or 9:30? Hopefully he says 9:30. But I have been told, if he does say, why don't you call me at 4 a.m., Rick Cotton is your upline and he's ready to take those calls. Rick's phone number is 561. So now he says, Eddie, why don't you call me Monday at 7 o'clock Central Time? Great, I'm going to write this down and I can't wait. You are going to love it. As a matter of fact, I'm also going to give you a website when I speak to you again. And you'll be able to go through everything. And if you need to speak to me before that because you're so excited, don't hesitate to call me. So now I have achieved my goal. My goal was to get the tools to him. Now the next thing I want to do is call my upline. Rick, it's Eddie. I need help with a 3-way call on Monday at 7 p.m. Central. Can you do it? Rick says, yep, I can do it. I get off the phone. I didn't even tell him anything about Wes yet, did I? Nothing. Because he's going to forget by Monday. Why waste his time now? 5 minutes before the call, I call my upline. Rick, let me tell you a little bit about Wes. Let me tell you what he's done in his life. Let me tell you the exact tools that I used. I sent him out from the Tagachi the 4 videos. That's it. So now, Wes is in his home in Texas. Rick is in his home in Florida. I'm in Boston. My goal is still not to sponsor him. See how easy this is? My goal is to get my upline on the phone with him. His goal is to give him enough information to want to get started right away. So basically, the second Wes answers the phone, I say, Wes, I am so glad that you are here because, just for what it's worth, on the other line with me, I've got Rick. Rick, he's one of the top people in this company, and I've got him on the phone to answer any of your questions. Rick, say hello to Wes. Rick says hello to Wes, and you know what I do? I don't say another word. Because Rick will answer his questions, handle his objections. If he needs to lead them to another tool, Dr. Joe videos or anything else, he'll do that. Okay? But so, more often than not, what I have found on the 3-way calls is your upline Rick, he's going to be able to sponsor Wes right away, right on the phone. Why? Because a few things are happening here. Psychologically, number one, what happened was, I'm telling him that I think enough of him to get one of the top guys on the phone on the company. Always remember what your prospect is trying to decide is twofold. A, can he do the business? Is this a good business opportunity? And B, more important than anything, can he see himself doing it? Very, very important. And after Rick answers all his questions, he's going to say, you know, Wes, you might be wondering right now whether or not you can do what I'm doing. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I got a better question. Do you think you can do what our friend Eddie has done to this point? And now Wes is thinking about it, says, wait a minute, let's think about this. What did Eddie do? He called me up excited with a smile on his face. He then sent me he texted me, how cool was that, some videos, and then he gets me on the phone with this Rick guy. I don't know if I can do what Rick did, but I know I can do what Eddie did. And that's the key. He will now become comfortable exposing the business to other people. Now, there's 2 beautiful things about this system that I have used to achieve substantial income. Every company I've been with, 4 out of 4. Never, ever have I made less than $15,000 in a month. In any network marketing company I've been with, using the same exact system, but the evolution of tools has changed, and now we got the best tools in the world. What I love about this is you will be able to overcome the biggest objection you're ever going to get in network marketing. See, I've been doing this for 26 years. Paul Morris is 48 years. And I'll be willing to bet if you ask Paul Morris what's the biggest objection you've heard in 48 years, he's going to say, I don't have the time. And man, 20 years ago, I hated that objection because people didn't have the time. They were driving an hour to an opportunity meeting, sitting there for another hour. Everybody converges on them at the end. No. But now, when Wes says, you know, I don't have the time. Now, I'm going to say the question back to him. I'm going to isolate the objection. Say it back to him. Use feel, felt, and found, and go for close. And it goes something like this. Wes, let me see if I understand what you're saying. You think that this is a great business opportunity, but you don't think you got the time. Is that it? He said, yeah, Eddie, that's it. Oh, Wes, I know just what you're saying. I'm working with people in the mortgage business. I'm working with people in the real estate business, lawyers, doctors. You know what they found? It takes almost no time out of their normal daily activity to send somebody a text. Does that make sense? Is there anything else you need to know before you're ready to get started? Yeah, Eddie, the other problem I got is I'm not a salesman. You know, Eddie, you're a salesman. Yeah, I'm in hardtop and paving. I don't sell anything. Let me see if I understand what you're saying, Wes. You think it's a great business opportunity, but by the same token, you're not a salesman. I know what you're saying. I'm working with people right now that have never even sold a Girl Scout cookie. You know what they found? It takes no salesmanship whatsoever to send somebody a text. Does that make sense? Is there anything else you need to know before you're ready to get started? By the way, this feel, felt, found thing, it works so well. Somebody could say to me, Eddie Freeman, I hate network marketing. I hate its views, but most of all, I hate you. I know how you feel. I've had a lot of people feel that way about me. But you know what they found out? Network marketing is the best way to get goods to an MI consumer. XViews is the best company in the industry, and once you get to know me, I'm not such a bad guy. Does that answer your question? Is there anything else you know before you're ready to get started?
Sign me up, baby.
But let me tell you the other important part of the duplication process here. People ask me all the time, Eddie, like Rick said, how are you going to do a three-way call for every single person in the company? I don't need to because of this system. And I'll tell you why. Because as my upline, Rick, is showing the business to my prospect, Wes, at that same exact moment, you know what he's doing? He's teaching me how to show the business. And after I do all these three-way calls with my upline, I'm now ready to take the lead in a three-way call. And if you don't use three-way calls, I don't know why. I'm going to tell you what I did to come into this business and personally enroll 100 people in 120 days. I got on the phone with Paul Morris. Now, I'd already been 18 years in network marketing. I had earned, my last company, I had earned $3 million in 4 years. But what did I do? Me. I got on the phone with Paul. And we were on the phone. I had, man, Paul, what did we work? 5 hours a day?
3 hours of the night.
I had one night, I'm on the phone. We're speaking to somebody in the West Coast time, 3 hour time limit. So, you know, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I got Paul. He's taking my call, by the way, to do a three-way. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. And I realized this is after 3 weeks of doing this straight. I know I got this. Paul's got no voice left. I said, Paul, you're off the hook. I got this from here. But guys, this is what this system is going to do for you. See, it's going to take the duplication process. It's going to make my life easy. So if Nick wants to ask me, what has this done for me? That's what it's done for me. It's making my life easy. And I'm going to leave with this one. If you are coachable, if you're coachable, if you listen, all we can do, because we're not your boss, I wish we were, then we'd tell you what to do, but we're your coach. We can only suggest what to do, okay? But if you're coachable and you listen to the coaches, who should your coaches be? Look at somebody in your upline that's been successful. Why wouldn't you want to have that person mentor you, help you, do three-way calls for you? If you're coachable and you're looking for residual income, even if it's just a couple $100 a week to supplement your income, or maybe you're looking for a little more, maybe you're looking for a couple thousand a week to replace your income, or maybe you want to be on the wall of diamonds at the XFuse corporate office. If you're coachable, you can make it happen. Follow the system. Does that make sense? We good? All right.